Hey, what's up? In this video, we're going to be talking about the 10 most common mistakes made by new church starts. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to get into the top 10 mistakes made by new church starts. Now, if we're meeting for the first time, what's up? I've been in ministry for the last 19 years, and I've been helping churches with social media marketing and church growth stuff for the last 7. So let's dive in. Okay, so we got a lot of ground to cover, so let's dive in. Number 1 is direct mail. Now, if you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I call this direct fail. And the reason is because direct mail is overpriced, it's ineffective, and it's outdated. So one of the biggest mistakes that new church plants make is by using direct mail. Now, I know there's a lot of church plant organizations that will teach to use this, but I'm telling you, if you were to reinvest the money you would have spent on a mailer, instead of spending $5, $10, $15, $20,000 on direct mail, and you were to reinvest that into Facebook ads, you'd see a much better return on Facebook ads. All right, number 2 is your church website. All right, now it's easy to overlook this and to go use a template builder or something like that, even like the GoDaddy builder, but don't do it. It makes sense to either hire a really nice company to create a good looking website, or if you're gonna do it yourself, go buy an online course, something like Church Marketing University or something like that, so you can learn how to build a quality website. Remember, people are gonna take a look at your website before they ever set foot in your church. And so if they check out your website, they will make a decision within about 7 seconds whether or not your church is a good fit for their family, and it's based solely on your website. And don't forget, 43% of people are on church websites to find location and service times. So don't bury it on your contact page or anything like that. You wanna make sure put your location and service times on your homepage where people can find them. Okay, number 3, not using social media marketing. Now, I'm huge on this, and it's because it is so daggone effective. In fact, I actually saw a church plant move from an elementary school to a high school, and they literally went from 350 to 800 people in only 4 weeks because they didn't do newspaper, magazines, or direct mail, and instead they reinvested that into social media marketing, specifically Facebook and Instagram ads. So I've seen this work over and over and over again, and this is one of the top mistakes that a lot of new church plants will make, is instead of social media marketing, they'll dive into something like traditional, like a billboard or direct mail. And I'm telling you, the single best return on investment you could ever make is in Facebook ads. And this is the best way to be able to reach every single person within driving distance of your church. Okay, number 4, spending your entire budget on your launch. Now, this might sound funny, but I have seen this happen over and over and over, as I've seen churches who go all in trying to have as big a launch as possible. They blow their entire budget thinking that they're going to get a bunch of people who are going to show up on the very first Sunday, who are going to join their church, and they'll magically start tithing the very first Sunday. That would be awesome if it actually works, but it's a fairy tale. It doesn't work, and I've seen so many churches either have to close their doors or come really, really close to completely closing everything down because they spent all of their money on their budget. Well, we recommend is spend about 30% of your budget on your launch. That way you have 70% in the bank as operating capital while you're growing your church, getting new members, and teaching people to give and tithe. Remember, if you're reaching a lot of unchurched people, it's probably going to take at least 6 to 9 months before they start to give. You need to have that much money in the bank in order to be able to operate as a church, to be able to pay your staff, take a salary yourself. So don't blow all of your money on your launch. You want to have a big launch, but invest it into something like Facebook ads instead of direct mail, and only spend 30%. So you have 70% of your budget in the bank to use as operating capital moving forward. And number 5 is that a lot of church plants will stop advertising after they launch. And this is really easy to do because now you launch, you start thinking about all the people that showed up, and you want to get people back in the door. You start looking at your sermon series and all these other things. But I'm telling you, if you stop running ads after you launch, you won't get people back in the door, right? And the only thing better than a first-time visitor is a second-time visitor. So what you want to do is you want to run ads all the way up to your launch and then through your launch, and you want to continue to be running Facebook and Instagram ads and doing other types of online advertising at least 60 to 90 days after your launch. So you want to be running at least 60 to 90 days before your launch, and you want to run 60 to 90 days after your launch. This way you continue to stay in front of people, and you continue to stay top of mind and reach people within driving distance of your church. That way the people that didn't make it to your launch, but maybe saw some of your ads or your invites and wanted to come, that way you can get them to come maybe a couple of weeks or even a couple of months down the road. And all those people who showed up to your launch but haven't been back yet, now we can actually target them and get them back in the door. All right, now we're halfway through our list, but before we get to the last 5 mistakes, like and subscribe to this video. We've got a lot of content. We're putting out new videos all the time. That way you'll never miss a video. All right, and number 6 is boosting posts instead of running Facebook ads. Now, a lot of churches are actually doing this and they think that they're running Facebook ads. In fact, I would say 9 out of 10 churches that I talk to say, yeah, we're running Facebook ads, but what they're actually doing is boosting posts. The difference is a boosted post is actually an organic post that you post on Facebook for free, and then Facebook kind of gives you a little message that says, hey, your post is performing 87% better than all of your other posts. Why don't you put $20 behind it and boost it, right? A lot of you guys have probably done this. You might do this with your sermon clips or even just your entire service from Sunday. The problem is this is not a Facebook ad. This is a boosted post. This is great for getting in front of the people already inside of your church. But if you want to target people outside your church, you want to use a targeted Facebook ad using the ads manager. There's a lot more targeting options and you have different types of campaign objectives that you can use back there. So just take my word for it. Boosted posts are great for reaching people inside your church. Facebook ads are what you want to use for reaching people outside your church. And number 7, targeting mistakes. Okay, this is one of my favorites and I talk about this a lot and I get really excited about it because I see it over and over and over. So most churches, what they want to do is they come in and say, okay, well, we're trying to reach young families, so we're only going to run ads to people who live within 2 miles of our church and are between the ages of 33 and 35 and have 2 kids who go to private school and they're in the top 5% of wage earners in our city. And next thing you know, there are 30 people in their audience, right? So now none of them are clicking on your ad. You're like, oh, the ads aren't working. I guess Facebook ads just don't work in my city. Bull crap. They do work. You just messed up the targeting. So all you want to do is leave your targeting wide open. This is one of the biggest mistakes that we see all the time when we work with churches, and it's one of the easiest things to do. And it's completely counterintuitive, right? You think, why wouldn't I just tell Facebook to show this ad to the people that I'm trying to reach? See, the key though is writing your ad copy and your ads to those people. So if you're trying to reach someone in their mid-30s who's married and has kids, write your ad specifically to that person using language that that person would identify with, but keep your targeting wide open. And you want to run Facebook ads to everyone within driving distance of your church, 18 to 65 plus. Okay, number 8, this one is your messaging. Now, a lot of churches screw this up. They try to come up with a really fancy tagline or a cool slogan or something like that. And listen, that's great, but your messaging needs to talk about people, right? In the marketing world, they talk about features versus benefits. Well, what the heck is the difference? Well, features are about you, benefits are about them. So anytime you want to write any type of copy, whether it's on your website or in a Facebook ad or on social media or any type of a print piece, you want to answer the question, what's in it for me, right? So my pastor always says, hey, no one cares that your dog died, they care that their dog died, right? And that's just human nature, right? They have their own stuff going on. So you don't want to talk about you. You don't want to talk about your church. You actually want to talk about them. One of the best examples of this is Luke Skywalker and Yoda. Okay, Luke Skywalker is the hero. You don't want to make yourself Luke Skywalker. You want to make them Luke Skywalker, and you want to position yourself as Yoda. So what you want to do is you actually want to be the guide that's there to help them, right? So maybe saying something like, hey, are you trying to discover your purpose? We can help. Check out our brand new series, How to Discover Your Purpose, this Sunday at 10 o'clock, right? So you're not actually talking about you. You're not saying, hey, we're a brand new church or we've been here for 25 years. You're not talking about you, right? Nobody cares. You're talking about them. Hey, are you trying to discover your purpose? Yeah? Okay, great. Come check out our brand new sermon series, How to Discover Your Purpose, this Sunday at 10 o'clock. So position them as Luke Skywalker, you're the hero, and you're Yoda, positioning yourself as the guide, helping them along in life. Number 9, info blasts instead of giving value. Again, this is another one that's really, really easy to do. But what you do is you don't want to just blast people with information. So whether it's an email newsletter or it's a boosted post or it's anything on your website, you don't want to just blast out everything about you. You actually want to give value. So finding ways of giving value, one of the easiest ways to do this is on social media, right? So instead of saying like, hey, we've got this coming up, or check out our new sermon series, or don't forget that we've got our women's event coming up, right? Actually go on there and specifically say, hey, I wonder what people are going through, right? And then give value. One of the easiest ways to do this is just by putting a graphic or a post on Facebook or Instagram and just say, how can we pray for you this week? Right? Now you're giving value, you're making it about them, not about you. So don't always just blast information and make announcements and talk about yourself, but take times to reach out about people, find out about them, and actually give value. And again, one of the easiest ways to do that is with a prayer request campaign. And finally, number 10, and this is waiting to launch, plan your visit. Now, there's a lot of misinformation surrounding Plan Your Visit and a lot of confusion, I think. So when we're talking about Plan Your Visit, it's this simple. You just simply want to give people an option to be able to sign up and schedule a visit to your church on Sunday. The best way to do this is with something like Text in Church. They have an incredible solution where you can actually put this on your website and be up and running in less than 10 minutes. And you can set it up so that whenever someone plans a visit on your website and schedules an appointment to visit your church, you get a notification on your phone. Pretty cool, right? Now, if you don't have Plan Your Visit on your website, we actually have a link down in the description. You can click on it. You can actually get 90 days of Text in Church free. And they've even got some tutorial videos walking you through how to set up Plan Your Visit on your church website. Make it super easy. Okay, so in this video, we talked about the top 10 most common mistakes made by new church starts. But if you want to learn about some of the things that you should be doing, you can actually check out our video, How to Market Your Church for Growth.